I had a question. You were talking about your story, which I think is really also really incredible. And walking away from the life that you had committed to or you had been committed to by others. And I find for so many, I mean, a lot of what we talk about, a lot of what we do at Convergence is really owning and understanding what it means to be called as an artist and this integration of our art and our faith. And I find that for so many people, there really is this moment where something has to be put down. There's a threshold that has to be crossed. And for so many people, crossing that threshold can take years. It might never happen because it feels so threatening to cross that threshold. I'm just wondering, I mean, what was it that finally sort of clicked for you to be able to say, I'm going to walk away from stability. I'm going to walk away from what makes, my parents happy with me right now, what seems like the right path, the good thing to do, to be an artist. What, and that was a legitimate call. How did you get there, and what was it that clicked for you?
So that's a really great question. And gosh, so I had mentioned that I had gotten my license for being a nail technician. So in the state of Connecticut, you can get a nail technician license, and gosh, it's almost unfair. It's like really unfair. Like, I could be the owner of a nail salon and not be present, but say I've trained everyone in my nail salon, and I can open up 7, 8, 9. And Connecticut is the hardest license to get. So I can open up in New York, I can open up in Boston, Providence, like Rhode Island, I can open up in Connecticut, and basically my parents were like, this is your 40-year rest of your life plan. This is what we're going to do with your life. And I worked at a nail salon and for like a year and a bit. And I just realized that a lot of them are undocumented workers, and a lot of them are abused, and a lot of them are taken advantage of. And I was going to be put into this place where I was going to have to enter into this Korean mafia of some sort, like, this group of people that controlled other people and their wages and how they lived and all this stuff. And the money would have been great for me. I would have been making $2 million in cash per nail salon. That would have been fine. But what does Jesus think about that? What, like, they say that they're Christians, but like, this doesn't look Christ-like. This doesn't, and I just had to walk away from that. And once I walked away from that, and my brother disowned me, like my brother, I didn't talk for like 5-6 years. My parents were still, like, I was still in contact with them. And then I started, it was like a slow journey, but then I became a postman. And it was the first time I had a job away from my parents. And I was like, I was so excited. And then that's when God was like, bam, I'm going to give you this art. I'm going to put this big bag of art in front of you. And I did urban ministry in New Haven on Kensington Street, and I've seen some crazy stuff in my life. I have some crazy stuff. And I got some kids into art school. I got kids into magnet schools. I've helped tutor so many kids into like place. And once I was in a place where I was like, I knew my privilege, even though I'm like, in my parents' eyes, poor, I was rich. I had my own car. I had car insurance. I had a home. I had a stability over my finances. I have never experienced being racially profiled by the police until I did ministry there, because I was the only Asian person in that neighborhood. And that was like, I needed to trust in the Lord so much more. And this was like slow process of God showing me how rich I am, even though in the world's eye I'm poor. And then saying, I trust you, God. And then the next step is like, I trust you, God. And then it was like the end of the line basically. And I was like, you know what? I trust you, God. And I just went. And